Hey dudes, we've all been here before, sorting out our base, making certain upgrades, research, and then suddenly you get that sinking feeling, a knock on the door. But you already know who's behind the door, don't you? You may have noticed that the white name tag above this guy's head turned from white to red. And that is the basis of the new update, the contacts list. But real quick, before we hop into the contacts list update, YouTube absolutely kicked me in the balls. And according to analytics, only about 5% of people got my latest video. I did an update video on the Rust Electricity Masterclass. I'm going to leave a link in the description if you guys are one of those electricity fundies. If not, let's get on with the video. Now, the contacts list. If I push tab and I enter my inventory screen, you'll notice an unfamiliar tab on the top of the screen. If I click on the contacts button, I'll be greeted with a little empty list and it will show friendly, acquaintance and enemies. Now, what it does is it auto-populates this list and any person you come into contact with, it updates their name onto that list. Now, I have a friend that has spawned inside this little base. If I come within 10 meters of another player and I have direct line of sight with him, their name automatically populates onto the list. Go back into the list, you'll see under acquaintance, the slice factor has now shown up, effectively allowing me to manage the contact and the interactions that I get with everybody on the map now. So if I click on his name, a little pop-up window shows and it shows his name, when I last saw him, a picture of his in-game character at the moment when we first met with direct line of sight, and a notes column allowing me to add some information about the player or the interaction that I had with him. This dude gave me a hatchet, for example. In a world with hundreds of players and hundreds of different interactions, a notes column is fantastic to remember everyone by. Now, if I set him as friendly, his name will move over to the friendly column, and if I were to have in-game name tags activated, you will now see that his name tag has shifted to blue, indicating that he's friendly. This of course can be changed at any time. I have the ability to set him as seen, or let's call it neutral, making his name flip back to white. And of course, if he does double cross me and he steals my AK, I can set him as an enemy and then his name tag will turn red the next time we meet each other. Also, if I have a friendly and a neutral acquaintance and he attacks me, he automatically gets moved over to the enemy column. The name tag is visible within 5 meters, however at further distance you have the ability to use a binoculars. This will not show his name, it will just show a red, white or blue dot indicating whether this person is friendly, hostile or neutral to you, and if there's no dot you haven't seen them in the game yet. This little dot floating above their head is effective from 5 meters to 150 meters. As soon as you pass the 150 mark, the dot will disappear, so it has an effective range. Don't worry, I did double check the distance, I made 100% sure. A system like this is incredibly useful because the dot doesn't show up unless you're directly looking at them with a binoculars, so it's not OP in my opinion. It'll make things like farming, exploring, and just, living around other people, have friendly neighbors, that type of thing, a lot more comfortable. The notes section too has plenty of space where you can add multiple lines of notes if you need to owe somebody some scrap, if you're borrowing wood from somebody, if somebody steals your hatchet, or they stab you. So, like I said, without looking through binoculars, players' names are visible within 0 to 5 meters of them. As soon as they get further than 5 meters away, the name obviously disappears. The dot is effective for 150 meters. The dot, however, changes when you start using the wave gesture. The wave gesture activates a friendly interaction. If I wave at him, he'll be able to momentarily see my name as I wave to him. The same applies to him. If he waves at me, I can see his name tag just for a second. So again, if you're out in the wilderness and you're exploring and you see a friendly, everyone knows the universal friendly crouch, the crouch I'm friendly. Now you can wave at them and it will indicate who they are. A super handy tool, I must admit, I love this feature and I think the clans will absolutely appreciate this too. Can you imagine just being out in the field, you farming trees, you see a random stranger, you don't know who it is, he waves at you, you're like, oh, it's that guy. That's no problem, carry on farming. Or you see a red name tag and you're like, holy shit, this guy's killed me before. You check your list and you'll be like, there's a bad guy. Also in the news, they've changed the animals. Look at this big fella here. What a chunky bear. My friend Norxia seems to really like the bears. And the wolves are totally insane, completely redone. Look at these freaking predators. I spoke to the developer Alex from Face Punch Studios. He's the guy that actually animated and remodeled all of these things. And he said a lot more work is coming to the animals. This is just the start, but all the base animals have been redone for now. Both textures and animations are completely different. The way the wolf walks is just absolutely staggering. I love it so much. No longer will we have to deal with the rust equivalent of triangular Lara Croft boobs. Side by side, they are actually worlds apart, and now they finally fit in with the new HD RP Rust graphics. Like, look at this wolf. If I get this thing out in the open, I'm actually going to shit myself. It actually looks intimidating now. I'm just waiting for wolf packs and trainable wolves. That's it right there. Oh, and finally, they've also done color coding for the wire tool and the hose tool. You can actually hold in right click, change the color of the different hoses and cords. And I think it's quite a nice addition. I mean, I have very complicated designs, and to have a tool that allows you to change color, you know, make it like red is the power going in, blue is the power going out, all the yellow is the lights, that type of thing. It can actually work very well on a circuit, and it's very exciting stuff for the future. And that's pretty much it for the update video. Thank you so much for watching. I do want to thank Dragon Champions for making this video possible. Be sure to stick around and show them some love, and then I can do more videos like this in the future. Dragon Champions is an old school style turn-based RPG game for Android and Apple. It has deep storylines, varieties of battles, guilds, you name it, tons of heroes, an engaging community, and developers that actually care. That's right, developers constantly update the game, they add new features, they even alter existing features like Face Punch does with Rust. And the best part is they don't require you to do microtransactions. That's one of my biggest gripes with modern mobile games, is that you have to basically pay to win. With this game you can actually play normally, you don't have to spend money to get ahead, no obstructive ads, no nothing, you can just progress like normally. It's actually quite epic. If you want to give it a try, check in the description, I've added a link to the game, and I've even included a special promo code so that you can get yourself about $10 worth of in-game loot and a new character, Kraken. Quite a silly name, but I tell you, I'm having an absolute ball with this game, and let me tell you why. Simplicity. Like, if I'm on my mobile, I want a simple game. I want something that's like really easy. I don't want to get into complex systems, complex features. I want to play the game, have a little bit of fun, and then log off, you know what I mean? So like in World of Warcraft, you get two types of factions. In this game, you have the Order and you've got clans. Sort of like a good and evil type of separation between the two factions. Tons of heroes within those factions. You get your goblins, elves, half-pigs, pride, demon, orcs, goblins, you name it. And in some cases you have the same class joining different factions, sort of like a good and evil version of these demons, for example. And the devs were kind enough to give me a promo code for you guys to try it out. With this code, like I mentioned before, you get $10 worth of very useful in-game loot and that new character Kraken. Kraken's epic because he develops really fast since he has massive AoE damage and AoE stun abilities. This promo code is only available for the first 500 players that have not yet reached level 15. So if you want to try it out, click on the link in the video description below, redeem that promo code, and do me a favor, my dudes, if you do try the game out, let me know what you thought of the game. I would love to engage with you guys. Thank you, Dragon Champions, for reaching out. To my darling Patreons, thank you so much for your support. And to the viewers, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time.
Oh, Mr. Flak, the Flak is back, and we are grateful for that. I hope you know. We watch your stuff on YouTube, oh yeah, and it is lit as fuck. I hope that you know we're gonna sub to you, oh Mr. Flak. Thank you.